Good morning, everybody. And happy Wednesday. Happy FOMC day to those out there that celebrate. Good morning, everyone. If you're here with me either in the Discord chat or in YouTube, go ahead and say what's up. Let's see who's with us this morning. Wow, we have a lot of folks in here this morning. We got Gunky, Savage, B-Money, Jim and Stuff, Trader Page, Kim O, Redberg. Looks like we have everyone sounding off in the YouTube chat. Good morning, dude. Good morning, Neon. Good morning, Jamal, Asan, Monk, Michael, Justice, P Skynet, Nick, Futures Trading Today, Zorbon, Justice. Who am I missing here? Oh my goodness, it's scrolling so fast. We have Joel, Fister5, Joey Freedom, Mike, Trend Friend, Ramon, Jiva, David, Ripper Trader, One Man Wolfpack, Pop Pops, Amer, Loxy, Alpha, Omega, Martin, X4M, Jonathan, Paul, Monk, Trader Gator, Carlos, Abdul, Jonas, Lake, Arthur, Trader's Den, Savage, Ray. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're with us, good morning, Hydroxide. Thursday for Hydroxide in here. Either way, it's FOMC day today, and I'm excited. I don't know about you folks, but I am excited. It's FOMC day. Let's kick off the party right here. Let's go ahead and smash that lucky like button. So we have two stipulations for the like button today. So for 150 likes, if we get to 150 likes, we will stream into the open here. If we get to 200 likes, we are going to have a special FOMC stream here for you folks on YouTube. So smash that like button. Let's get those likes up early so we don't have to worry about it. Good morning, Muno. He says, what's up, Rips? Just finished the night shift now here. Welcome, welcome. So we do have PPI out this morning. Good morning, Stock Trader, Anna, Ilita, Jamal, Mike Z. Good morning, Steve, G-Lines, Ray. Wow, we have a lot of folks from all over the world in here. We have folks from Australia, Canada, US, Chicago, Spain, Poland. Wow. Philippines, look at that. Good morning, everyone. So we do have PPI out this morning. That's going to be out in about 25 minutes here. Good morning to Mexico, Germany, Florida. Wow. Look at that. Everyone in here. Good morning from Atlanta. There's Gunky. Good morning. So PPI is going to be out in 25 minutes. That is going to be the market moving news of this morning. That's going to be the data point that does move the news this morning. And that's going to be out at 8:30. That is the final inflation read that we're going to be looking at before the big one, FOMC. FOMC is going to be at 2 p.m. today. And there's two parts to the FOMC. If this has been your first FOMC, good morning to France, Egypt. Wow, look at that. We have folks from all over here. So if this is your first FOMC, if we get to those 200 likes, we'll be doing it together here on YouTube. If we don't get to that, good morning, Big G-Ski. If we don't get to that, we're just going to be streaming it on in the Discord, and we're going to be doing it there together in the Discord. But hopefully we get, I think that you folks can do 200 likes. You folks have done so well with that. So I have a lot of faith in you. South Africa, Texas, Washington, D.C. Wow. Look at that. A lot of folks from all over the world in here. My goodness. So good morning, Titan. We will have FOMC. The rate decision is going to be out at 2 p.m. today. And then the press conference is going to be out 30 minutes later. So there's two parts to the FOMC. First, the rate decision, which pretty much it's almost a guarantee. I would be floored if they come out, the FOMC comes out and says, we're going to raise rates or we're going to drop rates. I would be floored. We're pricing in an almost certainty right now that they're going to come out and say that we are not going to change the rate. That is what the expectation is on the table right now. However, everyone knows that, right? Everyone knows that that's likely what's going to be happening here. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for Jerome Powell to come out and give his press conference where he's going to go over the details of why they chose to do what they did, which is likely going to be a pause again. But we're looking for the path forward. And we get that in two ways. We get that through his statement, which he's going to deliver 30 minutes after the FOMC rate decision. And then he has Q&A. And this is where it gets really spicy. Now, if this is your first FOMC that you've ever been a part of, I would highly recommend that you just do not trade it, okay? And I know that's going to be hard for a lot of you folks out there, but simply just not trading it and observing and seeing how things move around here That's going to be your best case scenario. If you're jumping into the FOMC, you don't know what to expect. You're going to get your face ripped off. Like a wild bear is attacking you, or a wild bull is hitting you with the horns. You're going to get your face ripped off. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be like a wild jungle cat is attacking you. So just be careful out there. If it's your first FOMC, good morning, Charlie. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Good evening there, Mitchell. The WV trader there from Myrtle Beach. Wow, wow, wow. Justice says 98.4% same rate expectation. Yeah, it's almost locked in, but that leaves room for that extra 1.6% for a total shocker, which I'm not expecting, of course, right? I'm not that person who goes and expects that that's what we're going to do. Good morning, Smooth. I'm not expecting that, right? I'm not expecting that at all. So what I think is that we're going to have the FOMC rate decision, and then the big news is going to be coming from the press conference, right? The press conference is going to be here, and it's going to give us all of that information that we're looking for. So I hope to share that time with you folks in here, and I hope to share that around 2:30 and 2 p.m. today. If we do have the special FOMC stream with you folks, we're going to be having that probably about 10 minutes before the rate decision, so probably around 1:50. But if this is your very first FOMC, you want to be extremely careful out there. Extremely, extremely careful. And if you are going to trade it, don't trade your own money. By golly, you want to be using Top Step. Top Step is the one way that you want to be trading this if you are so bold to trade this. I would say if this is your first FOMC ever trading, you want to stay away. You just want to watch, because if you're just sitting here and you're watching, you're going to do a heck of a lot better than getting your face ripped off. And nobody wants to see that, right? Alita says, I'm a first timer. I appreciate your advice. I do not need my face ripped off. I'll be watching today. It's a lot of fun to watch. It really is. It's a whole bunch of, it's fun to watch. Morning, Trader Dean. Can we give a warm Clubhouse welcome to Trader Dean here in the Discord? Good morning to you, Trader Dean. Have to remember that if you have election next year, so they need to lower rates before then. My guess is they drop rates very low around March when the January, February new numbers override the old ones. Yeah. They are expecting, right now, the money markets are pricing in that we will have a rate drop in March. That's what they are expecting here. Josh says, staying flat is a position. That is correct. Very good advice there, Josh. Asan says, the day after FOMC is the best days to trade, are the best days to trade. Stay patient today, y'all. I agree with you. I will likely, we'll see. We'll have to see. But depending on the PPI, we will have to see how that kind of plays out here. So if the PPI comes in and we have an advantageous trade to take, we'll get into that. But you can see here on these March contracts, we have flipped over into the March contracts for trading the NQ here. You can see it's still kind of thin in the liquidity here, and that's to be expected. The print's coming out in about 15 minutes here for the PPI. And again, this is the final print that we're going to see before we jump into the FOMC itself. So Trader Page says the afterglow is great too. Good morning, Fish Lips. Good morning. Good morning. Staying flat allows you to trade another day. Great advice there, Alfred. Good morning, Otter. Good morning, DK. Good morning, Ruski Panda. P Skynet says range traded barcode day, just here for the fireworks. Yeah, and it will be a lot of fun. We will have the stream if we do get those likes. Remember, we're looking for 200 likes to get there. If we get to 200 likes, we'll come back on the stream later on at around 1:50 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have a split screen where we can watch the press conference together and see what Mr. Jerome Powell wants to say, and we can have some fun commentary alongside with that. Good morning, Eduardo, here from Massachusetts. Wow. Good morning. Good morning. What do you do after 10 a.m.? Do you trade elsewhere? Well, it depends on the price action, but usually when I come off stream, I spend some time with our Discord family, Orlando, and that's where, if I'm not here on YouTube, that's where I can be found. And if I'm not doing any live trading, then I'm usually going over trades with fellow members and doing some one-on-ones and just chatting it up in our community there. I have a lot of latency this morning. Anyone else having latency this morning here in Discord at all? Should be, let me see the quality here. Yeah, should be pretty good. Good morning, FOMC is best to watch from the sidelines. Yes, indeed. Good morning, just joined. What have I missed? Not so much. We're just chatting it up about the day's events here. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Midland. If you hold stock in anything next year, should be a big winner for you. They always rally on election year. That is, we have seen that historically speaking. It would be interesting to see if the market could actually roll on an election year. It'd be pretty wild. Good morning, Rui. Good morning, Josh. Latency is fine for everybody. Okay, cool. So here's what I'm looking at here on TradingView. We had quite the rally here yesterday. I didn't really trade much of it when I got off stream yesterday. I pretty much did not trade any of this here. We had this trend line actually working quite well for us here, this multi-day trend line that we've had coming up here. We painted down in through this inefficiency, and we bounced right off of that beautiful trend line here, and the market just continued to rally like it was a small cap stock. This thing just kept on ripping and ripping and ripping. Good morning, Marco. Can you provide us a Discord link? Yeah, sure. It's just do exclamation point and then Discord. And yeah, so this was a very interesting day. Again, this is probably the most velocity I've seen to the top side without a lot of pullbacks. You can see on the 15-minute here, if we zoom in a little bit, on the 15-minute, we really only had 3 candles of pause on the way up, right here, here, and here. But it was very violent to the top side here, very strong move to the top side. And it was definitely unexpected for me. If I had expected this market to rally like this, I probably would have had a position on. It would have been really nice to have a 15 lot position on from that 614.5 level and going back up to the top side. But that's just didn't fit into my trading plan here. So I was taking the rest of the day off here yesterday in anticipation for the FOMC. I've traded FOMC enough times over the last couple of years where we've been in this data-dependent, rate-dependent cycle of the market, where it's a week where you want to really exercise caution. And a lot of the time that if you're watching this, for me, for instance, when I look at this chart here, when I'm looking at this right now, I don't have any FOMO whatsoever. I don't look at this and say, geez, I should have been at my desk. I should have been trading this move. I feel like a knucklehead. I'm so silly that I didn't hit this. I don't feel that way at all when I look at a chart like this. And if you're in that space, in that headspace and you're trading, you're in a really good spot, because if you're looking at this chart right now and you're saying, I can't believe I missed that, I'm going to make up for it today, you're going to bring yesterday's emotions into today's trading, and there's really no place for that. The market has no idea how you feel about it, right? Because the market doesn't know whether or not you caught this move. Let's say, there's going to be people in here in the chat, in Discord, in YouTube here, that have got a piece of this move, that they did trade a piece of this move. The market doesn't know who they are. The market doesn't know who the person is who missed the move. The market's just going to do what the market's going to do based on the activity of its participants. So if you're bringing in yesterday's emotions into your trading today, you're going to be in a bad spot. So what I recommend is that if you're having trouble with this, specifically if you're looking at a chart like this and you're saying, by golly, I wish I would have hit this and taken this long, I feel like a knucklehead. Man, I wish I really would have traded that. Definitely don't trade today. Don't bring yesterday's emotions into today's trading, right? So yesterday's move, very extraordinary. Didn't get any piece of that whatsoever. I ended up making about $400 on my XLA, or I can't even think right now. XFA, XLA. Thinking of a ticker XLA, XFA, and ended up making about $400 on that. So slow and steady on that one XFA that I've been trading. And here we are kind of just holding above 16,600 for the time being. So we'll have to see if PPI gives any relief here and gives any relief to the bears in this market. There's still so many people that are shorting this market, which is giving fuel to this move to the top side here. And that's what I think is making things sort of rally here. So we will have to see if that ends up being the case today. If we are going to continue this rally up to the top side, looking for new highs on the NQ here, if we can encroach and get above 17,000 today, it would be incredible. It's 400 points away. It's pretty unlikely, but on FOMC day, these types of things can happen. I just think that we have so much that's been priced in at this point, where the markets have been ripping and ripping and ripping, especially when you're looking at the NQ. The markets have priced in so much at this point that I would be pretty hard pressed to see that we have a move all the way up to 17,000, right? Amer says, what time frame do you use? This is the 15-minute. This is usually what I'm trading off of, is the 15-minute. The lowest I'll generally go in my time frame is about 3 minutes. Sometimes trading off the 1 minute. Very, very rare situations that I'll be doing that. Maybe looking for an order block within an order block. maybe trading on the 1 minute then, but for the most part, usually trading off of the 15-minute time frame here. So we do have, in about 10 minutes now, the PPI that's going to be coming out, and that's what we're going to be watching here closely. The numbers that we're looking for here is going to be a flat read for the final demand month over month. The prior read was negative 0.5%. Year over year, we're looking for a 1.0%. The prior read on that was 1.3%. So that's what we're looking at for the PPI. Those are going to be the key numbers we're going to be watching, and we'll have to see how that plays out and how that affects the market. We are just kind of skirting sideways here for the time being. So once that read comes out, we'll have to see if there's a lot of liquidity being injected into these numbers, if we have kind of a soft reaction to that move. If there's no reaction whatsoever, we'll probably look to see if there's any opportunities to pick up one way or the other. David says the ES and NQ closed the gap from earlier this year, so we should gap and go and make another zone above. I like that a lot. It just depends on how much room do we have to the top side here, right? How much room do we have to the top side? How long do you wait to get in? It depends. It depends. It really does depend on the move, the velocity, the print, the numbers. If we have a very advantageous print, if you've been watching me before, I'm a momentum trader and I like to jump into things, you know. Morning, Sarah. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting day today. We are at 133 likes. So if we just get 67 more likes, we will be streaming the FOMC today. So make sure you're smashing that lucky like button. Good morning, Larry. Good to see you. Good morning, Peter. So yeah, we'll be waiting for this data to come out. Right now, the market is chopping sideways. NQ is holding above 16,600 here. Would be insane if by the end of the year, if by the end of December, that we do see 17,000 printing in the NQ. It could absolutely happen today. Don't get me wrong. We could absolutely rally 400 points on the NQ today, but it is on the lower end of my expectations. We could absolutely drop back down to the mid 15,000s today, even the low 15,000s. There's a lot of things that can happen. Even if the print is extremely favorable, the market could go sell side and be irrational off this print. So good morning, Kenneth. Any reset codes? I don't have any reset codes right now. The moment that I get any of those, I will let you know. Any kind of special codes that we have, we'll definitely be featuring here in the stream. For the time being, we just have the link that is posted here in the chat if you're looking to trade on Top Step. We're like 200 points away from the overall high in the NQ. That is right. But it will be interesting to see what happens above that if we get perking above that today. Again, FOMC can move the markets extraordinarily fast and very volatile. We'll talk about it more as we get closer to the FOMC stream if we end up doing that together here on YouTube. We did just hit 152 likes, so we will absolutely be streaming into the open here. Should you buy stop or sell stop market versus limit on prints like this? I would always use market orders, because if you use limit orders, it can skip over and then it can threaten not to be your fill, because depending on the way that you have your limit orders set up, it may only try to fill it at that limit. And if that limit's not being offered in that millisecond or that nanosecond, they may just skip over your order. So I would say always using market orders for your stops today. The Magnificent Seven in bearish mode. Charts are looking bearish. No, I don't see that myself. I think that things are up and up and up here. The only one that's really troublesome, in my opinion, is Tesla here. Outside of that, I mean, Apple's ripping right now. Microsoft is holding up above the VWAP. Amazon's been ripping since yesterday. So no, I'm not seeing the same thing here, Orlando. Everybody said 2023 was bear market rally, but it turned out to be a very bullish year. Yes, indeed. Good morning there, DiCaprio. Good to see you. So we are about 8 minutes now until the print. 8 minutes. Make sure that if you are going to trade this, that you are taking it easy. Don't want to jump into anything and go too crazy here. Make sure that I got everything I need here on my end, all of my stop losses and all that correctly selected here. So I get this question a lot from you folks in here, talking about what kind of stop loss I use for my ATM strategy on NinjaTrader. I will be doing a full featured video on this in the future here. But basically, I use a 60 tick stop that whenever I put on a position in NinjaTrader, it immediately will put out a stop loss 60 ticks away from my entry. And the reason why I do that is so that I have enough gap to move that in an area of the market structure that makes sense. Rarely will I leave the 60 tick stop where it is. 60 ticks is 15 handles. So per contract, that's risking $300 in the NQ here. If you're trading on the minis, if you're trading on the micros, it's a $30 risk. And that's per contract. So that's what I like to usually open up my trades with, but you'll often see me moving my stop loss pretty quickly. James says, I'm going to be crazy and trade my practice account. There you go. That's a great way to learn. Muno says, Bill Ackman said Feds will cut rates sooner than most things. The big shock today, and again, this is the thing that I could never see happening. I'll preface it with that. I could never see this happening, would be that if they had a rate cut today. I would be floored if that happened. The markets would go crazy on that. I would be shocked to see that happening because the data to me does not suggest that, right? The data that we've had that the Fed is going to be using to indicate their path forward, we haven't really seen anything that indicates that there should be a rate cut at this juncture. Absolutely, there should be a pause in the rates, and rate cuts could be as soon as January, but I believe it's January and then March. I don't think we have an FOMC rate decision in February. Let me just double check on that. I'm pretty sure the next FOMC obviously in January. Let's see here. I think it's January and then March. January, then March, then May, June, July, September, November, December. That's right. So on those rate decisions, I do think that there is a small, slight chance, depending on what Jerome Powell says today, the money markets might price in that we have a higher chance of a pause now in January. I'm sorry, a higher chance of a cut now in January. So can that change today? Absolutely. There's a lot of different things that can happen today. There's a lot of different scenarios. This PPI data coming out will definitely help dictate a lot of what's going to be happening today. Good morning, Brian. Hola, Isa went. Good morning. If they cut, market will rally or plummet. If they cut, it's going to rally like crazy. It would go crazy. It would go crazy to the north side. Yeah, if they cut. But again, it's such an unlikely scenario. All right, we are 5 minutes out from this print. I'm going to take my first quick restroom break. You guys and gals here know how that goes. It's going to be a restroom rally. I'll see you guys here shortly. Just give me about a couple minutes here. Oh, we got the bathroom pump fake. Look out. All right, we are inside. 3 minutes now. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So we expect a rally in March? Well, not necessarily. The markets could steadily coast to the top side from now until March. Just because they're going to be cutting rates on that day. If the market's already expecting it, the markets are going to price it in because the markets are forward looking, right? If anything, the action that is going to be taking place today is going to signify what's happening in January and March. PPI is out here in 2.5 minutes here. Again, we're looking for final demand month over month at 0.0%. So flat month over month, but then year over year, we're looking for 1.0%. So those are the numbers we're looking out for. And let's see if we get an outlier print here that we can trade on this whatsoever. Get my Ninja Trader all loaded up here. So we'll have to see the reaction. Good morning, Marcos from South Brazil. Welcome. Alrighty, here we are still holding. We have about 1.5 minutes now until the PPI numbers are going to be released. We'll switch over to Ninja Trader for now. If you are going to trade this, good luck, everyone. Remember to trade safely, trade smart. If you've never traded a newsprint before, probably best to be hands-off or just trade in a practice account. Good afternoon from Zurich, Switzerland. Oh, welcome there. Welcome. Wow, from South Brazil, Rodrigo. Good to see you. All right, order book has cleared out. We are inside 1 minute now until the print. You can see right above me, order book has cleared out there. Completely empty order book. I guess we're expecting a doozy of a print here. Loxy says, just go long. That seems to be the hot ticket for the market lately here. 20 seconds. Good luck, everybody. I'm going to try a long here. It came in flat. 1/10 lower than expected for the year over year, so should be a little bit strong. See if we can get above the 20s here. So coming in 0.2 lower than expected, that should be a good read. So a slight pop and then a pullback. Let's see if we can get back above the 20s here. Yields are lower too on that print. Dixie's a little bit flat here. Perking up above the 20s. Let's see if we can get a nice hold above the 20s, encroach to the 25 here. Adding into that for that pull over 25 now. Watching here, if we pull back around 15 and we show weakness, still holding, looking for that 20 to hold. Pretty low liquidity now too. So I may have to end up covering this here. The fact that it is kind of lower liquidity. If we do get a push above 25, we would pop some stops there above 25. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for here. Not looking as strong as I'd like. Just yet, at least. Having trouble at these 20s here. Actually going for a third lot because we are kind of encroaching in that 20. I want to try to flip 2 contracts up a little bit higher and then refresh them if we dunk below 15s. Player there at 20 taken out, adding a fourth lot here. Watching for the encroachment above 25 now. Still holding around this 20 area, but we're not getting that push above 22, 25. So not as strong as I'd like to see. Watching here around 15. And still some sellers stepping in here. They are taking the higher liquidity, though, which is somewhat interesting. May get stopped out here. It's confusing because they're swiping the higher liquidity with violence here. So seeing if we're strong back into the 15s here. Yeah, SPY is pulled back as well. We're at the top end of this volume shelf here, so this is going to tell me a lot about whether or not we're going to rally back above 15. Yeah, still some sellers stepping in here. Seeing if these 10s hold. And we may get stopped out here. Sort of in the middle of this volume shelf. I kind of want to tease that down a little bit more. Yeah, volume is definitely steadily declining here. But seeing if we get kind of anything bottoming out, then I could add into the position for a flip back up to the top side here. So watching for this perk. Adding into that perk here, bringing my average down a little bit. See if we get encroachment back above the 15s here. Nice push up. Beautiful push back up here, looking for the 20s now. Watching for this flip now above the 20s. So they're holding 14 here, but they got to encroach back above 17, touch 20, and that's where I'll flip out probably 5 contracts here. Still a little bit weak. Watching for the 17 hit. There's that 17. I'm going to take out 5 at 17. Taking out another 5 here, trying to pull these orders out at the ask. Tough to get those fills there. We should get filled here, though. Filled 5. It's so hard to get these fills at 17. Let's see if we can tap the 17. Still some bidders showing up, but they're selling it super hard pre-17. I'm putting 3 on the ask here. Covering 3 more. Okay, we got the 5 out. Holding 2 more here. We're not getting that punch up that I want to see, unfortunately. I'm going to move my stop back up here. So trying to flip this out, tried to buy those extreme lows and get more than double our position there at the lows. In essence, trying to flip above 15 there. We did get that, but I wanted to see that punch through 17. And we just didn't get that, so we're holding out for that punch now. So watching here if we get that push up above 17. There's that push through 17 now. All right, see if we get this rally now through 20. Very thin to the ask side. They're letting this run here. Very interesting price action. I'm getting out one into the ask there. Letting one rock. Moving my stop back to 19. This is the initial push up that I wanted, so we can add back into this if we are strong above 25 here. They have holders at 25. I see that. So yeah, 25, they're kind of selling that back there at the 25s. Could get stopped out here at 19 and a quarter. I'm right at 19 and a quarter because if they flush 20s, that's where we will get popped. If they hold 20s, we can get probably add in a couple more contracts here. So just seeing if we hold these 20s now for encroachment back up to 25 and the 30s. So watching here. Two more on here. Watching this blow now through 25. And we still have our stop loss in the same area here. SPY is now returning to the top side here. We need to see encroachment above 25 here. Two more on for this approach above 25. Seller at 25, low volume too. Right now sitting up there with about 100 contracts on the ask. So watching if we can bust through that 25 and flip out two. Now they're front running 25s. So got to be careful on this one here. See if they hold these 20s. They are front running 25 for now. Stopped out there. All right, so out of that trade, see if we have this hold at these the VWAP now. We were looking for that burst above 25. So let's see if we can get back in this. If we are solidifying down here at the VWAP. Very low liquidity, very low volume. So coming back down here at 15. London Bridge, classic London Bridges pattern here. It's a classic pattern that we run in here, isn't it? All right, let's see if we can get back into this on that drawback there. We're about 20 minutes until the top of the hour. It's very thin liquidity. It's very, very thin liquidity here. But if we do start perking back above the VWAP and holding that there, I'm actually going to go back into that there, 2 lots long. So now looking to add into strength above 20. And then we would get encroachment above 25, perhaps running back into that liquidity and then popping into the 30s there. So that's what we're looking for. Watching for pullback here around VWAP. They're still buying pre-15, so they're front running 15, kind of making a market here between 15 and 25, 10 handle range. Seeing a couple red candles across the board, the Magnificent 7. They're trying to tease this liquidity down to the 15s. They keep flashing a bidder at 15 here. So watching that. We're at 14 and a half. Stopped out there. So again, we ran our stop a little bit tight there, but I just wanted to make sure we caught that in case we had any kind of flush down. So that's why I ran my stop at 14 and a half. So let's see now if we hold these 15s again. We're holding this area once again. The likelihood that we'll retest 25 is much higher. Back in again. I'm going to actually have my stop now at 11 and a half. So back in 2 lots again here. Just trying to work around this position here. Big bout of liquidity is going to run down all the way to 16,605. That's why we have our stop at 1150 in case we get that jump down to that liquidity. There's a player flashing at 8 right now, 8 3/4. But yeah, volume's drying up tremendously, so this might be our last trade on this one. Yeah, they're still going to the sell side here. So our stop at 1150, I like where that's at. It's towards the top of this volume shelf here, and we might just get tagged out on this sell. All right, tagged out there. Yeah, volume's a little bit low. I want to wait until the top of the hour now to trade the rest of this, unless we do get encroachment back into that 15 spot of liquidity there. But right now, volume is extremely, extremely low. I do think that we do have a chance to, if we start getting back into those 25s there, there's a good chance. We might have just ran our stop too tight there. There's a good chance there if we get back up to those 25s that we would pop above those. There's stops resting there at those 25s again. If we start to pop above 15s, hold 15s, I can try to get aggressive for an approach back to 25, looking for that pop above 25. That was the original idea on that last trade there, was looking for 15s popping back up to 25s, but it's difficult on low volume. So I'm watching for volume to see if we have any kind of volume popping up here at all. FOMC days usually have little volume while waiting for the news and events. Yes, that is correct. And we are seeing declining volume after that print, of course. So holding 15s again here. I want to see how heavy the sell side pressure is. Muno's up $60 in this combine account. Way to go there. Watching here at the 15s. So seeing if they're front running VWAP at all. Back in long there, snapping through the VWAP. Some sellers stepping in there right above 19. Seeing how heavy this player is. There we go, nice perk up. Seeing if they can bring this above that 25 benchmark now. So big sweep of liquidity there, quarter of the hour. Popping up here at the 20s. So 17s are holding again. 17 is right around where the VWAP is for the 830 reset. Getting 2 more on here. Want to be strong above these 20s. Two more on. Looking for this pop now into 25. Watching here above 20. Volume's drifting down a little bit again. As long as we're holding above 17, I have confidence in this position. Seeing if we can encroach back over these 20s here. Nice push up. Does it hold? Into that pop here. Looking for this 25 now. Front running 25 again, but this should blow out if we get above it. So watching here for this encroachment above 25 again. Some sellers front running 25, but let's see if we have the bid support to contain them. covering 5 into that push. We have a 50 lot seller at 25 and a quarter. Five more out. And stopped out there. So keep it on trying that 25 encroachment, and we're just getting swept out there. So that was our third attempt there at 25. See if we get back above this time around. But we got stopped out on that pull right at the exact bottom of that wick there. We're just looking for this 25 to burst up here. I'm going to move this down so we can see. So watching here again. Hi, new here. Is it normal to have a gap on MNQ? Something to do with the explanation on the 15th or a bug in trading view? It's the contract roll. You're looking at the December contracts versus the March contracts. What is that thing on the left and how do you use it? That is Bookmap. Here's a link for Bookmap. It is basically the depth of market and heat map looking at order flow here. Gosh, we are still holding this, but the volume is so tremendously low. Do you use level 2 data dome? Yeah, that's what we're using over here in Bookmap. It is the complete depth of market for the NQ here. So watching here, let's see if we can have this 20 area kind of hold. Like I said, we have stops to pop above 25, so I just have to have my timing right on this. I'm thinking about coming in 10 lots long again, but we have Apple sort of drifting down here. Volume is tremendously low, which makes this, of course, tricky, which makes us have to be extra scalpy on a play like this. I'm watching them just put up orders on the ask here and how thin they are, kind of teasing the price up towards 25. I'm going to go long 2 lots here, looking for this break up above. Move my stop in case we have a flash down here. I want to add into this if I see strength on a pullback around these 20s. Interesting, I'm seeing some bid side flashes coming in here. Potentially want to add into this strength. Watching here. I would expect that if we do flash above the 25 area, we would tap 30s and then reject. There's just a lot of liquidity resting above 25 right now and just not a whole lot of volume here, unfortunately. So we are trying to squeeze water out of a rock a little bit here. Adding into that for that 25 pull, we took 50 off the ask there. Let's see. We would pop stops here, but there's those stops being popped above 25 there. Nice pull up. Rejected early below 30, but let's see if we can hold this push. Nice pull. Watching now for 30s. Nice push up. I'm going to add 2 more for the pull through 30. Some bidders stepping in here. Taking off 4 there into the ask. Watching now for 35. One more out in the ask there. We might get stopped out on a little pull down, but I'm hoping that we get 35 touch before then. We're holding pre-30s here. We can burst above 30, but we just have to have one buyer knock that 30 player here. And out on that. So that's going to put us on the day right now. We are kind of waffling around between break even and profit. Right now, we're down 37 bucks on all of those trades put together. Gross realized profit at 155 bucks, but with fees, that's 192 in commissions on that because we're so actively trading that position there. So that's where we're sitting right now. We managed our way out of a losing position on the day. I think as far down as about $1,100. So about $1,100 recovery there on the top side there. Excellent. How did you choose the buy side? Seems like before the report. Well, I was pretty neutral before the report. I want to see if we get anything here towards the 30s now. You have to tilt your head to read it. Does Bookmap show all orders across all brokers? It's the CME. So yeah, we're tracking all of the actual real NQ orders going in here. There we go. Back above the 30s. We just had our stop a little bit too tight. We might run into 35 here now. So we are pushing up. Grateful Trader says 440 bucks away from passing Top Step X. I know these trades are very, very difficult because, you know, we're getting very scalpy, but is anybody else there having success here trading this market? I see that we have about 500 of you folks in here. Please make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. Please make sure that you are subscribed with the notifications turned on so you can be notified anytime that we are going live here on YouTube. If we got to 200 likes, we will be doing a live stream for FOMC specifically. We are at 201 likes, so we did it, folks. Congratulations. We will be streaming today for the FOMC, so make sure you're tuning in for that at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Monk is up 480 bucks. John is up 980 bucks. Ray is up 3,000. Rooski's up 1,400. Alex is up 254. Aaron's up. Mike was down 1,000. Currently up 60 bucks. Way to go, Mike. Very, very nice. Trader Page up 200 bucks. Grateful Trader up $1,000. Dr. Swag up 580 bucks. Very, very nice. Austin Trades was down 1480, now only down 115. Yeah, same boat as me. We were down in those initial few trades and then had to get very scalpy to the top side. It's lower volume, but it's a market that I'm comfortable trading in. And on that note, we're going to crack open an ice cold beer here. I'm just kidding. No, we're cracking open a new Celsius here. This is a sparkling cola. This is a new one that we haven't really featured on the stream here. Quick question about Bookmap. There is some license that says that futures and stocks are delayed. My question is how much of a delay they have. It's zero latency. You just have to pay for the data. Up 500 bucks. Nice work there, Aaron. Trying to use the Bookmap promo code. Do we need Digital Plus or Global Plus subscription? You can just use the global one. You need to use Global Plus. Global is perfectly fine for everything we're doing in here. We don't need to use the Global Plus. But code MC20 will get you 20% off. You are faithful to that Celsius. I enjoy it very much. If you folks are having fun in here, go ahead and drop a W in chat. Let's see if we're having fun, at least in today's stream, pre-FOMC. I think the FOMC stream is going to be a lot more fun, but drop a W here in the chat if you're having fun. Would love to see a temperature of the room here, see if we're having a good time or not. I'd rather have a beer. All right, sweet. I love it. Okay, we're having some fun here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Your voice sounds like the old GTA radio. Which station? I'll have more fun if we get 35. Yeah. All right. What's your average there, Ruski? On level 11, how many contracts buying, selling is considered a big buyer seller? On level 2, it depends. I mean, it depends on the context. Depends on what instrument you're trading. NQ is very thin right now, so if we have a 50 lot that's resting, you got to assume there's probably another 50 to 150 contracts behind that. Up above 30 there, we swept basically about 300 contracts between 30 and 30 and a half, 30 and a quarter, 31 and a quarter. That's right, you sound like a radio talker. Loxy says, funny, I said go long, yet I'm down. It was a tricky print. Very low volume. We have to trade our way out of it sometimes. Which, by the way, is not easy to do. If you're profitable on today or slightly negative, you got to give yourself a pat on the back, because that is not easy to do in a print like that. Rips should be in GTA. Easy Eldon says, I will start a new combine 50K today. Good luck to you. We're streaming here from the the West Coast here in the USA. For me, sounds like one in auction. I had somebody message me something about that too. Sounds like you're the auctioneer at a cattle auction. I thought that was really funny. I'm on the West Coast, so right now for me, it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 2 a.m. If you folks had seen my interview, I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I love being a morning person. I go to bed super early, though. I go to bed at 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm in California. Great state of California. Let's see. I know I was super focused on that trade right there. Let's go back and see if we had any other chats here. Which time frame chat is it? The chart that I'm using over here? Over here. That chart is a 30-second chart, but the reason why is because I want to be able to illustrate each one of my trades that I'm taking, so you can see each trade here in real time. Because if I go to, let's say, the 15-minute chart, which I'm trading off of, you can't really tell much from that, right? That doesn't really give you much information. It doesn't help you as the viewer. So the reason why we have this at the 30-second chart is so you can see each and every single one of my executions in here. And then if you have any questions about what I traded and why, we can display it here through the chart. I'm from Cali, but in Sweden right now. It's 3 p.m. and already dark. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. Well, there we go. 31.25 pushing up here. Holy smokes. It's just testing that level, but it doesn't want to break just yet. You have the most Californian face. That's hilarious. Wow, there's that pop. Okay, there's your 9 a.m. liquidity coming in. Congratulations to you folks who were holding that long there, getting that beautiful pop there to the top side. And immediately pulling back there. I'll take that, and I'm out of my last two. Nice work there, Ruski. Way to go. Turning a profit on their trades there, Ruski Panda. Way to go, way to go. Over here in Post Your Gains on the Discord. Flipped one lot with you, but got out too early. Nice work there, Trader Page. Way to go, way to go. So market will open here in about 30 minutes. I do want to keep an eye on volume to see if it's steadily declining or if we have anything. It just came to me. Rip's voice reminds me of an old radio DJ. Oh, wow. Wolfman Jack. That is an old school one, eh? Joel says, I think 460 for the day and sit down, watch FOMC is the most intelligent idea. I like that, Joel. I would do that as well. Was down 150, up 11 and out. Way to go, Mike. And we are pushing back up. There's a lot of liquidity there at 35 that I would expect that we could probably sweep towards. Kurt K up 485 in a combine. Nice work there, Kurt. Yeah, I am just trading a combine here on this print. I haven't touched any of my XFL. Why do I want to keep saying XLF? I want to keep talking about the XLF, which is the financial ETF. The XFA. I haven't traded any of my XFAs today. Currently sitting down, like I said earlier. We're down $37 here on our combine. And that's the lay of the land this morning. And the most drawdown I think we took on that, I think we're down about $1,000 realized or so. So that is the lay of the land here. Yeah, that's a win. I like it. I like it too. Only being down fees right now. Marvel Universe up. Wow, look at that. Marvel Universe killing it in here. Nice work on your combine there, Marvel. I'm going long on FOMC and going for a bath. Pray the chart gods are with me. Well, you know, the thing that is tricky about the FOMC is that they sweep stops very efficiently. So they really do a very good job, those market makers, of collecting stops on both sides of the trade. So be very, very careful. We'll talk about this when we do our FOMC stream today, because we did hit that benchmark We are at 256 likes. So you folks in here are just wonderful. You guys and gals here are killing it. Good morning, Tough. How come you don't use footprints? I used to. Bookmap does the trick for me now. I commit a lot to memory, and it does the trick for me now. And I know I'm kind of working a little bit harder, but for me personally, for some reason, when I'm using Bookmap versus, I used to trade off of a footprint chart, used to trade off a TPO. Yeah, I used to have a lot of success with that, but for the time being, I just really enjoy Bookmap now. I don't really have the need for a footprint chart, but I totally understand. I get where you're coming from there, Ruski. I don't know. I like committing it all to memory. It just flows better that way for some reason. Give it up in here for Marvel in the Discord with that beautiful 150K trading combine, or 50K rather, trading combine reset chart. Beautiful, beautiful. Good morning, Omar. Good to see you again. Omar is from Juarez. Probably tried to perform as a porn actor in Hollywood. Yeah, I don't know about that. What streaming camera do I use? I use a Sony FX3. Oh, man. Hey, there's that 35. We knocked him out. Oh, man. Yeah, that's got to be one of the funniest comments so far. K-Stala says, tried footprint for 2 weeks, but couldn't make it work. Just not my thing. And that's the thing. Everybody's different, right? Every single person who's a trader is different. What works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me, or anybody else for that matter. I know what works for me, and I've tuned kind of this style that I've created over the last years and years and years that I've been trading. And this is what works for me. This is how I've found consistent profitability in the markets. Omar says, I just tuned in as a porn topic. No, just one comment about that, evidently. Rips, what's going on? Who was that? Marcos. Marcos Lima. Have you seen Billions? I wonder how much of that TV show is real. It was very, very good, and then it went very bad. It was the main character ends up. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, I was very much into that show. I like Succession a lot. Succession is a fantastic show. That is an excellent, excellent show. That's probably more realistic than any other show out there. Brings a new. Oh, I'm not even going to say that one. Ruski says better than using astrology for trading. Yeah, what's our moon phase right now? Let's see. Suits. I've never seen that one. A lot of friends have recommended Suits to me. I've never seen that one. Succession favorite show. Yeah, it's a great show. Very often, they tie in a lot of reality. It's kind of loosely based on Rupert Murdoch. So. Why am I sleeping at 7 p.m.? Well, the reason why is because I like to wake up at 2 a.m. and I like to get a decent amount of sleep. I'll go to bed at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then I'm usually up at 2 a.m. the next morning. One of my favorite movies is The Big Short. That's a great one as well. I really like, for trading movies, I like The Rogue Trader. That's a classic. That's a lesser known movie. The Rogue Trader is very, very good. There's a news print in that one, in I think it's the 11th hour or something like that, which is not about trading, but there's a scene in that movie where they have, I think it's the jobless claims or CPI or some kind of print like that. But is that the one with Ewan McGregor? Yeah, that's the one. That's an amazing film. Pitch perfect for me. When I sleep for 9 hours, I usually trade much better. Yeah. Hey, Rips, are you streaming live on YouTube around FOMC? Yeah, the benchmark to hit was 200 likes, and you folks we're at 270 likes. So, yeah, we'll be back here trading the FOMC live, and we're going to have a nice little split screen where we have Jerome Powell live right above my head. And so we can all watch the press conference together. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that. Have I seen Industry? I think I watched a couple episodes, but I haven't really gotten into it. The last one that I watched was a recommendation from one of our Clubhouse family members here in Discord. They recommended Severance on Apple TV, and that was fun. Waiting for season 2 on that one. Yeah, Sarah, I feel like I watched one episode, but I couldn't stay awake for it. And it's not because the show was bad or anything. It was just that I was very, very tired. Crude news at 10:30. Yeah, we have the inventory. So just to give you folks a recap here on the schedule, we are 22 minutes out from the day's open here for the New York Open. If industry moves very slow, I definitely have to give it more time. But at 10:30 today, we do have the crude oil, gasoline, distillate inventories. That's out at 10:30. And then right after that, we do have the FOMC rate decision at 2, which we will be streaming live here together here on YouTube. And make sure the way that you catch this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with your notifications turned on, so YouTube can send a push notification to your phone and say, hey, we're live over in Market Clubhouse right now. And then after 2 p.m., we have the press conference from Jerome Powell, the man himself, at 2:30 p.m. SBB, new subscriber, hello there. Hey, how you doing? The original Wall Street, now we're talking. Yeah, there we go. That's the one right there. That's an amazing film. That has a great scene in it where somebody's getting squeezed in real life, squeezed in person, where the guy goes over to his beach house and he basically squeezes him to his face. I'm in PST. I'm in Pacific Standard Time. Question there from Mike. But I wake up at 2, which is basically 5 East Coast time. Do I trade the ES? Right now, we're really just focused on the NQ because the amount of volatility that it's producing. ES offers a fantastic trade as well. But for the time being, for the volatility that we're getting on the NQ, the opportunities that we've had on the NQ, they've been fantastic. And we are we're sticking with that. Greed is good. Yeah, that whole monologue is amazing. That is. Yeah. What is it? Blue Horseshoe loves, why can't I think of the line right now? Blue something loves, Blue Star, no, loves Blue Horseshoe. I can't think of the line right now. I'm drawing a blank here. Anacott Steel, there you go. Thank you, Ratberg. Thank you. Blue Horseshoe loves Anacott Steel. Thank you. That's the one. Daddy P will give everyone a new one today. Say it like it is. Sail the news, buy the press questions has been the golden nugget, but better not trade FOMC statement, period. It's going to be a wild one. We may trade a combine together. You'll have to tune in for that today at around 2 p.m. Eastern time. Nothing tops Yellowstone. I still haven't seen Yellowstone. That's another one. Talking about trading, looking to the W1 timeframe. Do you believe NASDAQ will go up a little bit more today? It depends on what the FOMC conference produces. And again, just because they say that what we're looking for, we'll talk about this more as we get closer to the conference when we do the live stream later on this afternoon. But basically, we're looking for Jerome Powell to basically come out and say, this is the terminal rate. We have reached a sufficiently restrictive policy. That's what we're looking for. If that's the case, the market should have a decent sized rally. If he hints at that we're going to have rate cuts sooner, if the money markets are pricing in that we're going to have rate cuts sooner than March, well, the market could rally on that. Gunky. The best bit from Wall Street is usually when Becca introduces us to the Cup song. You're talking about back at Pitch Perfect over there, Loxy. Good morning, Sergio. Good to see you. Florida was a good documentary on floor traders. Yeah, there was another one. Yeah, Florida's great. That's a classic. That's where you have that one guy that is drunk as a skunk and he's sitting there going, bet more. That's the best line in that whole documentary. It's amazing. If you haven't seen Florida, you got to check it out. Kind of feel bad because a lot of those folks were going from floor trading into electronic trading, and it's completely different because you can't really read the room like you could as a floor trader. So entirely different there. Peaky Blinders, I haven't seen that one either. That one, I think that one has Cillian Murphy in it, right? Yeah, there you go. Smooth guy, the bet more guy. Did I trade on the floor? I did not. No, I was never a floor trader. So look at this. I mean, we're skirting sideways here. We're not missing all that much, and that's why I'm just gabbing away here with you folks. We're not missing much. This is 29 all the way up to 35. So we're talking about a massive 6-handle range here. Not really much to trade, unfortunately, and volume steadily pretty low here, right? Yeah, volume's been very low since the print. We did light up this chart like a Christmas tree, though, and coming out the other side with a loss of $37, but we were down about 1,000, so I call that a win. On a lighter note, trading places, that's a classic as well. Florida was a great watch since I had never seen floor before. Yeah, the floor trading, yeah. I wish you all good luck and a lovely day. Just came to say hi and dropped a like. I'll stay out today as I'm not feeling good. Have a great day, Rips. Wish you 10K green today. Oh, thank you, Long Rain. Hopefully we'll see you here tomorrow, and I hope you feel better soon. Hey, man, do you set daily targets in terms of points? It depends. It depends on the trade. But usually I like to have a 2-to-1 risk reward on a trade. So if we're risking, let's just say we're risking 50 ticks, we want to get 100 ticks. If we're risking 60 ticks, we want to get 120 ticks. Generally speaking, not always is it going to work out like that. But I'm very much a discretionary trader because I've built up the skill set over the years of watching the markets, trading the markets, understanding how they move. But for the most part, as a newer trader, you should be much more docile in your trading. You got to pick better entries. You have to be very specific on your entries and futures, and then usually just letting that trade work. We had a trade like that yesterday where we were able to let a trade work for a while. So I like to showcase all different facets and styles of trading. My primary focus most of the time is going to be centered around momentum trading. However, if we have a really, really nice and tight setup, then we'll probably let that trade work for, sometimes even up to an hour. We've had trades that will go on for quite some time here. What indicator are you using with the arrows? These are just the buys and sells, actually. There are no indicators here. This is the actual trades that we took this morning together here live on stream. So the blue arrows are buys and the pink arrows are sells, and buying, and then selling, and yeah. Buyers and sellers can't decide who goes first, like crossing the Nile River. Yep, this is going to be a wild one today. This is going to be a wild one. Little firework arrows, yeah. We paint the chart with little firework arrows. Good morning, Craig. Good morning. Letting my short run 2 to 1 L stop break even. Let's see where she goes. Good luck to you, Grateful Trader. What was your entry there on that? I am flat here, of course. I haven't taken a trade since our last exit, which was right there. Currently, market's trading here, so this was our last exit right there. We got stopped out on that micro flush down. When are you doing that book map tutorial? Hopefully soon, Hank the Tank. Thanks for joining us here. I do definitely want to have a video on YouTube about Bookmap, but we do have a webinar in Clubhouse. If you join during those 7 days where you get that free 7-day trial, well, $7 for 7 days. Join in for those 7 days. You can watch all the webinars, and we do have a webinar in there about Bookmap. But we will potentially have a webinar that we put on YouTube that is more about the just about Bookmap in general and how I look to use it. Good morning, Adam. Good to see you. PG Celsius says, good morning. Lately, the 14 EMA and VWAP has been very strong trend lines. I mean, they're lagging indicators. A lot of the EMAs are going to look like that. They're lagging indicators. So, I mean, there's a streamer recently that just discovered the VWAP for the very first time. Like, wow, what's this? It's the VWAP. I've never seen this thing before. It's amazing. I cannot hear Rip, just music playing. Make sure you're joining the right channel here. Let me send you the link here. Go ahead and join right here, Adam. Go ahead and join on up. Grateful Trader says entries at 633.5 off the 2 wicks on the 1 minute plus your call on the ass stacking up tight stop. Nice work there, Grateful Trader. Evan says, good morning, Rip. Just woke up. What's the P&L so far? I'll leave that up since everybody's asking. $37 in the red. We were down about $1,000 on the original print here. We got sort of flushed out, but made a nice little recovery there. Click mute music. Is it doing the music still? I'm surprised if it's still doing the music there, because it should show me up on stage there. Gunky with 2 combines up. Looks like, wow, look at that. About $1,500 today, $1,200. Nice work there, Gunky, here in the Discord. Nice job. Way to go, way to go. Midday VWAP bounce has been a thing the last 4 to 5 sessions on the NQ. Yeah, it's been very, very interesting watching that. We the big trend line here that we drew. Let me go ahead and drop this into, let's say, the 60-minute time frame here. Well, we'll go back to the 15. But this trend line that we drew here on stream a while ago, I mean, this multi-day trend line has been really, really strong. So what would be really interesting today is if we perked up in regular trading hours and pre-FOMC, we kind of had to dump back down to this trend line, and then we could go long off that trend line there. Because you can see here yesterday, that was the hot ticket here. We were shorting this, I think, live on stream. We were shorting below the 60s, right? We had that 60 snap. I think we covered in the 40s. It went a little bit lower. And yeah, if you were buying off of that trend line right here, oh my goodness, that was the hot ticket there. Morning, The Wiz. Good to see you. Fisher5 says, I mainly use VWAP, got 5 EMA and fair value gaps. Yeah, there's no one right way to trade, folks. You got to remember that. There's no one right way to trade. There's multiple ways to find your success here in the markets. And if it is with VWAP, with EMAs, with order flow, with trend lines, whatever you find that works for you, that's what you want to do. Vincent says, do you know how taxes work on a future combine for Top Step versus just a personal account? You do not get the futures tax break when you're trading on a funded account with Top Step, unless I believe that you're in a live account. Then maybe you do get that tax break. I'm not in a live account yet. I do expect to get moved up shortly, soon, perhaps. But as far as when you're in the XFA, the express funded accounts, that is just the same as a W-2. It's going to be the same tax as a W-2 or 1099, I guess. Whichever one that is. It depends on what part of the world you're in and all that, but yeah. Double bottom here, potentially. Let's see here. In the lower time frame, let's drop this down into the 1 minute here. We really have to stretch this out. Not a whole mess of range here, but yeah, something maybe perhaps double bottom here. We do have some buyers. You can see by those wicks there. But what's your Top Step promo code? Well, you just click on this link here. Nightbot should drop that link for you. You think there's a short brewing here? I don't think so. I mean, we could have an open drop to collect some more liquidity for fuel to the top side. We'll have to see how we want to play this, though, given that it is FOMC day. Most of the trades today should either be finished. You should be very light on your trades today, or, after the FOMC decision does come out. I'm using TradingView, but it seems lagging. Is anyone else having the same issues? Are you paying for the futures live data there, Boca? Because if you're not, you will have a 15-minute delay on your futures. You will be 15 minutes in the rear there. All right, we are inside 10 minutes now. If you have live data, just try resetting the platform, restarting the platform. That's... Yeah, just make sure the live index, the live equities data is not going to be the same as the live futures data. They're two separate data packages, so just remember that. Top Step reports all income earnings paid to the relevant taxing authority in the U.S. Yeah, that's it's not, you don't get the futures tax benefit. I think when you go to the live account, you do get that benefit. I'm not completely certain, but I think it's just regular old, W-2 or 1099, which I get the two confused. Maybe it's one and the same, but there you have it. So we are pushing up here, kind of testing that 30 level again, and we have some sellers at that area. Do you ever trade futures from TradingView directly? I haven't personally. I maybe have in the past. I'm trying to think. Maybe way in the past. I don't recall doing it, so I'm going to say no. But we did have some folks in here that have done it with their Top Step combine, and they have had tons of success with it, and they have no issue with it. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to take my final bathroom break here before the open. We are closing in on the open here. We're about 8 minutes away from the open. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back with you folks here. All right, we're back, and look out below. This is quite the rollover in the markets here. Holy smokes. Market coming down hot here. We are 4 minutes from the open. Some big liquidity coming in. Seeing if there's any squawks that came across the board while I was gone. I'm not seeing anything. Market dumping because Rips was gone for too long. Oh my. Anyone else out there short in this market right now? This is a nice little short here. I think it was, who was it that was short here in the YouTube chat? I can't remember. Show yourself. In the live account, you don't get FIFO. Gain, loss, write down. Earnings are reported via 1099 at the trader's personal income, not the capital gains rate. Okay, thank you, Jay. Good to know that for the live account. Need the flush noise. Here you have it. There we go. Trying to stay patient until FOMC. I like that move a lot. I'm not going to lie. I like that move a lot. I think that there's value in patience. When you spot a setup minutes before open, how do you take it? Depends. If it's a very solid setup, then you just put in your orders and you let it work. That's really what you want to do. Marvel with a quick short here. Nicely done. Up to 180 bucks there. We could have a bounce off VWAP here. We are now 2.5 minutes till the open, folks. 2.5 minutes. Make sure you are calm, cool, and collected here. We'll go back over to Ninja Trader since we are getting close to the open here. What time frame are you looking at? The 15-minute. Can I show the trend line again? Sure. Well, let's get that popping in for you. Here's the trend line that we have. From down here on the 6th of December, all the way to that touch there yesterday on the 12th. Wow, we are coming down hot here. Running into the VWAP. We have a lot of room here to the downside after yesterday's very low liquidity pump there to the top side. So we'll have to see if we can catch anything here off the open. Loxy says, just go long. So let's see here. Again, folks, before we kick off the day of trade today, make sure you are calm, cool, and collected. Make sure that you have your favorite flavor of Celsius nearby, of course. And finally, make sure you hit that lucky like button, because if you do that, I'm pretty sure that you will have a green day today. So hit that lucky like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the stream with your notifications turned on. We'll probably do a giveaway here at 3,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll wait for 5,000. We'll see. And the day before we had that phantom pump where all Mag 7 were meh and the NQ went crazy. Yeah, we do have a lot of room here to the downside. We'll be keeping an eye on things. SPY did snap the VWAP here to the downside, so keeping an eye on that as well. All right, inside 1 minute here, folks. Inside 1 minute. Good luck to you all. 1 minute until the party gets started here. 1 minute, 1 minute. $15 wants to create a bearish order block. That's what it's looking for. Let's see if it can get there. Giving back all of that PPI print gain here. Market is selling off here. 30 seconds now until the market opens. 30 seconds. Market is coming down with the heaviness here. Looking to see if we can break below 16,600. 10 seconds, folks. 10 seconds. Good luck to everybody in here in the Discord and in the YouTube chat. Good luck to you all. I hope you all have an amazingly green day today. Good luck. Markets are open. Good luck, everybody. Big swing back up to the top side here. No trades yet. Big range here. NVIDIA pulling back a little bit here. Seeing if we get any higher here on this pump to the top side. Very thin on the ask here in the NQ order book. Very, very thin to the ask side. SPY is holding, but looks kind of weak, actually. SPY looking weak here. NVIDIA, a little pump. Anyone catch this long here? What a candle to the top side here. I didn't get any of this long myself. Nice 30 handle to the top side. We are still kind of holding in this area. So we tapped VWAP and we are off to the races here. Caught about 15 ticks long. Nice work there, Ailita. Very, very nice. I'm going to take that short there. I want to see if we can hold below the 30s. Might be running into a freight. Yeah, stop. I might be running into a freight train. So taking a loss on that one there. Was trying to get the quick scoop back down to 94. This thing is strong here. I thought SPY was going to fade a little bit there, but by golly, we stepped in front of a freight train there. Hey, good morning, Wotes. Good to see you. Do you scale down your size for setups in very high volatility? Yeah, we only took one lot there. I'm definitely scaled down. We are pushing above highs now. Going to try a little bit of a long here with one lot. See if we hold this 30 level. We have a stop down there at 26. I actually want to move that down to 23 3/4. So we are sweeping liquidity both sides here of the order book. See if we are holding these 35s. Apple is perking up, looking kind of strong here, but SPY is kind of weak. Amazon perking up as well. I'm actually going to add into that. We have a lot of bids showing up below us right now. That's giving me the confidence to go 4 lots on this bad boy here. So let's see if we have this nice perk up above the 40s. Watching here. We might get a quick dip back down. See if we have anything worth adding into around these 30s here. Watching here at the 30s. See if we can get a little squeeze back up to the top side above the 40s. I like what I'm seeing there. I'm actually going to average into that a little bit more. 9 lots long here. Looking for this perk above 35 now. They are capping off that 35 all of a sudden. Nah, I don't like that. Hold on. Let's see if these 30s want to hold for us there. Big seller at 35 just showed up out of nowhere there on the tape. Seeing if we can wrestle through the 30s again. Front running now 32. Yikes. Don't like that at all. I get stopped out here watching. And stopped out there. Yeah, I didn't like that. That seller showed up right at 35 out of nowhere. Did not like that at all. Ran 9 lots into that. I was very confident we'd perk through 35 all the way up to 40 there. So let's see here on a follow-up trade. Checking out TradingView. I mean, this has just been a wild open so far. All right, let's see here if these 30s want to hold. They are holding again. I'm actually going to take that long once more. And I want to get aggressive into this if we are going to perk back above this player. There's that guy at 35. I'm 15 lots long here. My goodness, I timed that poorly, but let's see if we can hold above the 40s here. Watching here for this hold above the 40s. I timed that so poorly though. We had that jump back up. That player at 35 vanished. Now looking for the 50s to the top side here. Nice push up. Hesitation at 45s, but it's still very strong here. SPY is shaping up as well. Terrible timing on this trade, but we'll take it. Follow-up trade is looking good here. Nice push up, looking for 50 encroachment. They are front running the 50s for now, but I think we get a burst above that into the 60s. Hanging on here. Watching this player at 50. Yeah, they're front running this 50 player, so let's see if they can lay off a little bit. Move my stop up a little bit here. Okay, here comes 50. Through 50, we are slamming those 50s pretty hard here. I'm going to take out 5 into the ask there. And I'm going to take it out another 5, leaving 5 as a runner. Move my stop just above break even there. Three more out. Don't like this price action right now above 50. See if we can regain composure a little bit there. Watching our stop. So terrible timing on our first trade, making up for it here on our second trade. And they're not letting that break just yet. I'm pulling off one more in the ask there. They're still not letting it break. Am I on tilt yet? No. Why would I be on tilt? What would I be on tilt for? Crazy. This open might be crazier than yesterday's. Yeah, it's a wild one so far. They are propping up these 50s right now for the time being. Hard to trade with my laggy connection. Yeah, if you are lagging, stay out. There's that push above the 50s. Very, very nice. I'm going to come out of that one there. I'm actually going to flip over into an Express account here. See if we have these 50s holding at all. Trying too long here. So we are stepping into these 50s. Going a third lot long here for that push up into 60 now. We are driving higher here. This is nice. Little pull back into the 50s. Have my stop about 41 1/4, 3/4. So this is the candle we're working with right now. This is it. Seeing if these 50s want to hold for us here. $50 still strong. Looking for re-encroachment above to 60 now. SPY is sort of caught here. So we might have a sweep back down. Point of control has moved up to 650 here. Ooh, sellers stepping in right below the 50s here. We might get stopped out at 41 3/4, but I like where my stops are. Big sellers stepping in here. Big sellers, but we are catching it bid side. Big sellers stepping in here. Monster sellers. Watching here if we get stopped out. Big seller stepping in at that 45 area, but let's see if we can get a refresh here. Yeah, stopped out there. Still big sell side pressure coming in. Let's see if we can reframe this trade here on this pullback. What I'm looking for is strength here. I'm actually going to go long there. Move my stop up to about 32. Watch and see on this bounce if we can reclaim 45. So 45, there is a seller there. If we break through that 45, we will touch 50 again. So watching closely here. So we're looking for that stop and go pattern now. 45s need to be given up here. So watching here at 45 now. Some folks are front running that 45 pretty heavily. So Keeping an eye out for that. Okay, through 45. Big seller still at 45. Watching to see if we can take out that seller and then encroach up back towards the 50s here. Nice push up through 45. Now looking for 50s. Looking for that stop and go pattern here. Tapped 50, selling at 50. Let's see if we get through that seller now without that violence back down to the downside here. There are some stronger buyers, but sellers are kind of trying to take over here pre-50. Running into that same player at 45 here. So point of control moving out to that 45 level here. A lot of liquidity being contracted. Volume is declining steadily here, but if we can stay strong above 50, we will be strong in this position. Yeah, 45 is that seller is back there. Seeing now if we can hold above 40. So big topping wicks on the 5-minute chart here. SPY looks like it kind of wants to roll over, but we do have some strength out of Apple and Meta right now that is kind of holding things together. That's our glue. So looking for that stop and go pattern, strength above the 50s would be what we're looking for here. Big players stepping in and selling pre-45. Big orders going off there. And very thin market. So we are still holding these 40s for now. So we might get stopped out here, stopped out there on that flush down. Let's see if we can put on another trade here when the market gives us a little bit more development. We were weak into those 50s, but figured that we would have reclaimed there at the 40s. So we'll be watching again for another 1 to 3 lot trade here. Flushing down pretty strong here. Seeing if this presents any opportunity for a bounce trade. So watching here at the 30s, we're right at the VWAP, the 8:30 a.m. VWAP. Seeing if we're going to wash all the way back down to the opening candle. Tesla rolling over a touch here. SPY is rolling over as well. Now I'm going to be changing my focus, looking for weak bounces as Apple is kind of selling off a little bit as well here. We are at the midsection of this volume range, so if we did flush below the 20s, this could get vehemently weak. Still seeing some perk out of Microsoft and Apple, however. SPY wants to roll here, would be at this below 464.5. Nvidia perking back up here as well. Still holding 30s. A little bit weak though around these 30s. So liquidity being injected, quarter of the hour liquidity here being injected. Seeing if this shakes things up a little bit here. SPY is still holding on to these lows. That's why I'm not short into this yet. The weakness in the Magnificent Seven is really showing its hand from Tesla and Google right now. However, Apple, Meta, Microsoft still holding up. Nvidia is the strongest of the bunch here. So very slow and grindy to the downside. So I'm going to be possibly looking for a reversal on that. SPY looks like it wants to roll over here. Apple showing a little bit of weakness. So we're at the lower end of this volume shelf here. So watching closely, if we blow through this here, this could get violent to the downside. So just watching this closely here. Seeing this perk back up towards the 30 level. I'm actually going to try a short here. If we break below this volume shelf, break below the 20s, it will get violent to the downside, targeting 600. So watching here. It is very chunky here to the downside. So I have to be on guard watching for a rip out of Microsoft or Apple. If we break below down into 610, I'd be confident in holding this for a little bit longer. We do need to see SPY start to roll over here as well. We're just at the lower end of this volume shelf, which makes this a much riskier trade, but the reward on this trade is very high since we are peeling at the lower end of this volume shelf. So if we break below this here, we should break down with violence. Just have to be wary of a bounce here. SPY is bouncing a little bit. So there's a break below, a little break below there. Good flush, looking for 10s to flush now. So a little bounce from SPY as well. We do have room down to 94, 594. So just trying to be patient in this position here. Nice rip to the downside. 10s are flushing. We do have some bidders stepping up around 8. So nice flush here. Coming on down. Some bidders stepping up at 10 and 8 there. Big bidders stepping up. See if SPY can start to give up 464.5 here. Google very weak. Microsoft is at the VWAP here. So if Microsoft gave up the VWAP, we would see some pressure here to the downside. Yeah, 610, there's a big bidder there, but I think that we can get through them. It's still very thin here. We did contract some liquidity into that pull in 610, but still overall pretty thin. Volume is drying up a touch here too. So we do have a liquidity injection coming in about 12 minutes. Nice seller stepping in there. Very weak both sides of the market here. Bid and ask. They thin up whenever a large player comes in. They just let it move. So we have continual pushes to the downside here. This thing can flush through 610 pretty quickly. So watching the 610 test again. See if they're going to continue to firm up this area or not. There are some large players that are spoofing large orders, removing them pretty quickly. I think they're trying to attract the liquidity. So I just want to see if we can actually encroach down below that 10 area or not. Now it's looking to reclaim potential at that VWAP there. Our entry's right about at VWAP here. So looking for weakness towards the VWAP. Microsoft is a little bit lower than VWAP here as well. So looking for this weakness to bring that snap. Very, very thin here. We do need to see SPY rolling below 464.5. That would kind of trigger the market to do a nice little rollover here. We have created a little bit of a volume shelf here between 10 and 15. So let's see if we can find some weakness below. So watching for the sell through 10s now. The sell side pressure does subside a touch there at 10 because there are some players stepping on the bid. So nobody wants to be that first person in the pool there. So let's see if we get this flush down through the 600 flat without a nice big old bounce in our face here. Seeing some double-digit players here finessing that bid. There is a big player there, though, at 610. There's a large player at 610. And they are kind of asking for somebody to sell into them. So let's see. Let's try to be patient here in this position. Looking to catch this trend, and this break down below 600 would be pretty violent, targeting 594. Very thin both ways, as I've said. Very, very thin both ways. Still watching to see if SPY can give up this 464.5 area. Looking for double-digit sellers here on the tape. So 35 offered there, taken pretty quickly. They are just kind of testing the temperature of these lows here, seeing if we do have enough sell side pressure. So we are about 8 minutes from the top of the hour where there will be more liquidity being injected. It does look like they want to buy these 10s and 12s here. They're kind of finessing around this area, seeing if anybody's selling to them. They're putting up 25 and 30 lots, seeing who's swiping at them. And then we have front runners, algorithms front running those 25 and 30 lots. So we may not get the resolution we're looking for as I'm watching this tape here. Yeah, ES looks pretty dead. It's not your platform. ES is pretty dead in the water here. We're looking for ES to roll over below 4,700 with violence. So yeah, there were some players buying those 12s and 13s, and they weren't even allowing it to touch this player at the 12s who had a 35 lot on. So that was a little bit concerning to me. They're still just buying these 10s and 12s for now. We do need to see, like I said, double-digit sellers coming in on the tape, and that would probably scare away those bids. So Apple's coming down a little bit here. Little perk out of Microsoft, but that can be weak below VWAP here. SPY rolling over a touch, which is what we want to see. Still, again, we're seeing big players step up on the offer, and we're swiping that pretty quickly. So a lot of front running going on, a lot of algo games here as volume is coming down. It is good tape to watch, though. You can learn a lot from watching this type of movement here. Seeing some double-digit sellers coming in. Do they want to swipe this player at 12? Let's see. They're letting it run down to him and him or her and letting them see. Do you want to take this liquidity at 12? It's all hidden liquidity. Now they're flashing larger orders on 10s and 12s. So they're really kind of taunting the sellers down here. They're basically, they're posing the question to the sellers down here, and they're saying, we have liquidity. Do you want to sell into it? So there you go. There's a big chunky sell. They're kind of waving the flag here, and they're saying, hey, we have liquidity down here. Do you want to sell into it? And every single time it comes down, they go from a, let's just say a 15 lot sell down to a 2 lot sell, 1 lot sell. And they're just kind of like, nobody wants to be the first person into the pool here. That's kind of what we're seeing at these lows. So again, testing these 10s. See how large this player is at the 10s. If he or her is still there. Yeah, nobody wants to be the first one in here. All it takes is one player to just push on it. All it takes is just one player to lean on into it here at the 10s. Somebody tested it right there. Somebody tested it right there. Somebody tested the 10s, and the moment that they tested the 10s, they hammered it with a 100 lot. And then the moment that 100 lot comes in, the algorithms scatter. So that's what you're seeing here live and direct on this tape. It's still algorithmic games. Nobody wants to actually get filled for a 100 lot there. But we are finding that sell side pressure ever so slightly here. See if anybody wants to be the first one in the pool, pushing below those 10s. You can see here, if you're watching the time and sales, the lot size decreases massively when we get to these 10s. Nobody wants to be that first person to lean into that player there. Very low liquidity. Can somebody lean on it with a 20 lot? Let's see. 2 lot, 3 lot, 4 lot. Oh, we got a 6 lot coming in. I'm just watching the tape here at these areas, waiting to see if we can have one player who's going to step up to the plate and just lean into this buyer at 9 and 10. So far, nobody has the guts to do it. Big buyer sitting here at 9 and 10. And they're very thin to the ask side as well. So definitely concerning here. I'm trying to be as patient as possible, but it is concerning that we are holding these lows and nobody wants to be the first one in here. We're about 4 minutes out. There we go. We pushed through the 9s, not with violence yet, which is concerning, which means they're just teasing their order down a little bit. They're trying to get a better price on their bid. Internals are neutral. Thank you, Vito. So looking now for that 600 encroachment here. There's this big seller stepping up at 602. I want to see this through 600 here. 601 and a quarter is our hourly low. So looking, there we go. There's that big flush through 600. Welcome to the party. Good to see you there, friend. There's that flush below 600. And then we have vehement buyers stepping up here. Let's see how thin they make it to the ask side here. So encroaching below 600, sweeping some stops below. Let's see if they allow us to get back down below those 600s or not, or if that is going to be the end of the story there. Very thin to the ask side here. They're running it right back up. Yellen is about to speak soon. Thank you so much there, Savage. Yeah, didn't cover any in that flush. We were targeting 594 to the downside there. Unfortunately, we got that bounce from heck that we were not hoping. We always cross our fingers. We hope to not see that bounce, but it's one of the things that you can run into when we have such a big psych level like that. But I'm going to try to be patient and see if that we can get that sweep of liquidity low back below 594 and start really getting that sell side pressure coming in hot here. We should see some sellers stepping in back into those 9s here. We'll find out pretty quickly whether or not that player at 9 is gone. So watching here to see if they're still letting this 9 player in. Let's see, post your gains here. Nice work there, Trader Page, up 440 bucks. Way to go. So coming back down, looking for this 605 to fail here. We are flirting close with the top of the hour. We are about a minute away from the top of the hour here. Just holding our position. Still looking a touch weak here. SPY doesn't want to roll over, doesn't want to give it up yet. Tesla very weak here. Microsoft finally showing some weakness across the board, as well as Apple. So we do want to stay in this position for as long as we possibly can, looking for that encroachment below 594. So far looking good off that pop to the top side. They ran asks very thin in that move there. So now looking for that encroachment below 605. Seeing a couple bids stacking up there, but nothing that we can't sell through. Took a practice trading down 440. That's okay. Good thing doing it on your practice account there. All right, we are 15 seconds away from the top of the hour injection of liquidity. Let's see how this comes and interplays with the market here. 10 seconds, folks. 10 seconds. Good luck, everybody. A little bit of sell side coming in here. Let's see if they can break 605s. So Google out with a press release about AI. No reaction on Google from that one. I want to see 605s being weak here. I do not want to see buyers at 605. Very thin liquidity here. Seeing if Google is going to bounce on that AI headline at all. Tesla off a cliff here, which is good for our position. If NVIDIA starts to lay off the gas here, we can definitely see NVIDIA testing VWAP, which is at 480.87 here. Microsoft was to give up the EMAs alongside Apple. We could see perpetual weakness that would get us below 600 again. We do have some bids stacking up between 601 and 596. Some decent sized bids, but I could see those getting pulled as soon as we get down to those areas there. So watching here. So buyers did step in at that 605. Not ideal for what I wanted to see. I would have expected a more violent pull to the downside there for that 10 a.m. liquidity injection. Microsoft rolling over pretty heavy here. Watching now 605 weakness. Very, very thin tape here. So some new rules about crypto, FASB rules. Crypto is going to be measured at fair value now. Interesting. SEC is going to vote later today on new central clearing mandate that would compel brokers and hedge funds to clear more treasury trades. Imagine that. I wonder what they're going to vote on that one. So Google not really reacting on those headlines here. We are still kind of weak around the 605 area, but I do want to see some sweeping movement through 600 here to be very confident in our position. I do want to see perpetual weakness below 605 here, leading us back down into that 600. Tesla's still off a cliff here. Microsoft showing some very nice weakness. If Apple joined Microsoft in that weakness, we could see the market start to roll here. SPY will not give it up just yet. SPY is just being propped up right below 464.5. So if SPY snapped 464 here, that would also give us curtains in the market. That would definitely lead us to the downside here as well. So a couple different things that we're looking for in our trades here to lead us to the downside. 605 seems to be the new line in the sand here. Yeah, let me go ahead and move that for you. There you go. So I want to see, when they're buying this up, I want to see how heavy they are on the ask side. And that will kind of give us some clues whether or not we have meaningful buyers coming in or if we just have algos that are looking to cap off higher for a short here. So watching this pull of liquidity here to the top side. Yeah, very thin as expected. So just some stops being popped, some liquidity being added to the short side here for these algorithms. Then back down we go back to 605 here, most likely. Amazon, a little bit of a perk. SPY just kind of going sideways. Google now finally reacting on that AI news. So a little perk here from Google looking to reclaim VWAP. Not ideal for our situation here. Perk off of Microsoft, off the EMAs here. So that might have been a lot of liquidity here onto the bid side. So just watching these asks here to the top side. So if we start to blow above these tops at the 20s here, we could see a shift in momentum. I'm not seeing it yet on my end across the board for the Magnificent 7, but that's definitely something I want to be cautious about. Because now we are seeing buyers showing up at this 15 level as well. So if we get through this, this new buy side liquidity at the 15s, back down to the downside, that'll kind of give me some relief here in the position. So back down below 15s, that does give me a little solace here in this position. Big bidders, however. Very choppy, very big bidders. It might just kind of stew down here for a hot minute. Yeah, if this breaks structure to the 20s here, this thing could scream up to the top side. So caution flag is out here for this position. Watching closely here. Again, I want to see us back down below 15 to be confident in this position. Some big bidders showing their faces at 10 through 15 here. Some big lots, 75, 55. Apple is starting to perk up a little bit here. Google rejecting off the VWAP. SPY showing sort of just middle of the road performance here. NVIDIA coming back down a little bit. Amazon kind of giving back that little perk that it had. So really the only strong one out of the bunch here is Apple, but it is the number one weight of both the S&P and the NAS. So if we do have a turnaround from Apple here back below the VWAP, we would be back in the driver's seat here in this position, because the other folks in the Magnificent Seven here are somewhat weak. They're not tremendously weak, but they are somewhat weak. So we are looking for weakness to emerge here from Apple if we get back below 196. Right now it is perking up pretty heavy. So some big offers being shown on the ask here, and they're not swiping it with strength. So that is a good sign for us being short here. They're not running into those asks with a lot of strength. We still are kind of showing a little bit of weakness here on our end. Another press release out here from Google. Seeing if that gives Google any room here to the top side as well. NVIDIA perking up very, very strong here now. Big reversal here in NVIDIA. But that's really only between NVIDIA and Apple, that's really the only ones that I'm seeing with a lot of strength here. If Microsoft was to bottom out here at 375, it's right now trading 375 spot 40. If it bottomed out here, that would be concerning for me, but it has been in a nice perpetual fade here. So watching here at the 20s now. Dixie's ripping. Thank you, DK. Appreciate that. Yeah, Dixie ripping here. SPY is perking back up a little bit, so we definitely have a little bit of concern here in the position. I want to see us back weak below the 20s here. It's just very, very choppy, very low liquidity. If we still have this kind of ripping in our face here, probably just end up calling it until FOMC here. Watching here around 19.5 now. I'm not seeing big weakness showing its face yet, but as long as we're kind of weak around this breakout area, not really showing any strength or weakness. For what it's worth, we tested the open in yesterday's settlement and 10 points above the point of control as it's Fed day. We likely consolidate at these levels. Yeah, we're looking for one more encroachment back below 600 here. That's what I'm looking for at least. I'm just trying to see if we get any kind of weakness here out of Apple. NVIDIA is kind of peeling off a little bit here. Microsoft is tremendously weak, but I want to see that perpetual weakness, kind of that contagion across the board here. Meta also weak, but Apple is kind of holding this up here. NVIDIA as well. Those are the two strong ones out of the Magnificent Seven here. But we might end up just closing our position as we are kind of perking up higher here. Coming now to the quarter of the hour in about 4.5 minutes here. So just watching. Some bidders are stepping in a little bit here. Apple very, very strong. So like I said, if Microsoft started to perk up here, the NQ would probably rip back up to the top side. So seeing if we have any kind of weakness. So big offer there, big bid rather, 100 lot bid, and that is pushing the market higher here. Yep, there's that big rip to the top side here. So we will come out of this position and probably be locked up until FOMC, just seeing if we get any kind of interplay back down to that 100 lot. Big rip up to the top side, back above that 620 area. And they're not taking that liquidity there at 625. Let's see if they want to grab any of it. That bidder there with about 100 lot. So just watching here. Tapping into it. Do we have the sell side pressure to break through that? A couple double digit sellers there breaking through that. Let's see if we can hold below it now. So we do have the crude inventory data that's going to be coming out here in about 15 minutes at the bottom of the hour. So we have the 8:30 a.m. VWAP right around where we're painting this liquidity right now, seeing if we can have any kind of resolution back here to the downside. We'll be covering this if we get any higher here. Yeah, SPY is pushing back up here as well. Very, very choppy FOMC, pre-FOMC session, of course. I'm just going to cover right there. So covering right there, that's going to put us on the day. We are sitting down $2,200 there on the day. We had one losing trade, one big winning trade, and then we let the winning trade go to a losing trade on this one. So unfortunate, but that's the way it goes sometimes. But the good news is that I'm going to be continuing to trade here in the Discord, and I will be back here on YouTube to trade the FOMC with you folks. So make sure that you are subscribed with notifications turned on here, because that way you can be notified when we go live for the FOMC live stream in here. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for that. I will see everybody here back on YouTube in, what is that, about 3-4 hours here? So we'll be back here on YouTube. Thanks for joining me this morning. Had a lot of fun trading alongside all of you folks out there. Congratulations to everyone who made this market theirs this morning. Really happy to see that. And like I said, we'll be back later on in the afternoon here. So I'll see you folks then for our special event, our FOMC live stream. If you're here in the Discord, don't go anywhere. I'll catch you guys here in a minute. Take care.